So over the last couple of years, the carbon market has been seeing an issue. It has been plagued with a high level of low value carbon credits. But over the last couple of months, we have seen the market shift to wanting a more higher quality carbon credit. And in this video, I want to talk to you guys about a project that I think is poised to get their hands on a big piece of this multi-billion-dollar global market, and it is a very low cap gem right now. So let's just get right into it. Welcome to Everything Currency. This is a show where we talk about everything crypto and more. I'm your host Jay, and today I want to talk to you guys all about Klima DAO. Now, Klima DAO is a project that I've talked about on this channel before, but they are going into something called Klima 2.0, where they are going to be changing up the way that they do things in order to provide what they are going to provide in a better way. So let's just jump right into it so it doesn't just sound like I'm speaking in code. So first things first, if you guys don't know about the carbon markets or carbon credits, it says this year's companies are improving their climate strategies by integrating carbon credits. The focus on these projects to create real world environmental beliefs. So all they're doing is they're investing into climate type businesses in order to offset some of their emissions and things like that. If they're, and I think it's a good thing. A lot of people are going to say it's a bad thing, but I think, hey, if companies are going to pollute, then they should have to clean up, and carbon credits is one way that they can do that without having to go like directly out there and do it themselves. They're actually going to be used to fund a bunch of those things, but there's going to be clear rules in 2022, which is going to make it harder for people to just issue these low grade carbon credits, which that's very important, because we don't have a way right now of like verifying if the carbon credit is even real, right? And for example, that might look like, hey, somebody says they're planting trees and then they get carbon credits from planting those trees, and maybe they didn't plant the trees. Or maybe they sold some carbon credits from trees that will be there in 10 years, but they're not there right now, or something like that. Like some weird stuff has been happening in the carbon market. But that's why I think Klima DAO is actually very undervalued at this point in time. So this is the token of Klima DAO right now. It's at 33 cents right now. The market cap is 6 million, which is criminally undervalued. The all-time high at this token is 3 years ago at $3,777. Now that might seem a little bit shocking considering that it's at 33 cents, but this is a rebasing token, so the supply and the price and the market cap was all playing with each other a lot in the beginning. So you got to take this kind of $3,000 price with a grain of salt. But there are only 18 million tokens in the total supply, so that is still a very, very low supply token. So let's see, go to the website. This is what it is. It says real world assets driving real world impact. Klima addresses the coordination failure that has held back the global scale up of climate finance, which is pretty much what I just explained about carbon credits being low quality, about them having a lot of issues, a lot of bad actors and things like that, which new markets usually have bad actors and things. But right here, 20 million carbon credits available via Klima DAO, the equivalent of the annual emissions of a small company. So they already have in their portfolio enough carbon to cover a small company, which is pretty dope. An open climate finance protocol, Klima DAO is facilitating public goods and a common pool of resources to drive environmental markets forward. Blockchain enabled interoperability, neutrally trusted protocol, public and open source. So all those things, of course, are good for the token. It says govern the market and the planet. Join 100,000 ecosystem stakeholders. Use the Klima token to steward Klima DAO resources and build novel climate finance, and it is backed and partnered with all of these great crypto companies right here, which is pretty dope. So right here it says Klima is the entry point to the blockchain enabled climate markets. Every Klima token is backed by at least 1 carbon ton in the Klima DAO treasury. So when you are buying the Klima DAO tokens, you're actually buying actual Klima, and you're actually able to trade it for 1 BTC or 1 ton of carbon token. So that's what's happening with the Klima DAO currently. But the reason why I'm bringing it to your guys' attention, the reason why I'm getting bullish on it, and the opportunity lies in what's coming up for Klima DAO, and that is this right here. They got something called Klima DAO Fair Launch, or Klima 2.0. So it says Klima 2.0 is a redesigned decentralized carbon market aimed at enhancing carbon pricing, retirement, and offset mechanisms. So carbon pricing, of course, is the price of the carbon credit. Retiring the carbon is what companies have to do in order to claim that their company actually removed that carbon from the atmosphere. So if the carbon credits are liquid and you can sell them and trade them and things like that, then companies can hold them in their portfolio, right? They can hold, like, say, 1 million carbon and say, hey, we removed 1 million ton of carbon from the air, and then they can go resell it, which that was happening a lot. So they have to retire those credits. They have to basically burn those tokens in order to say, hey, we are not going to touch that carbon. It is going to remain, in the ground, in the trees, in the whatever they're using to hold the carbon to keep it out of the atmosphere. And then the offset mechanisms where, different models to offset it. Our new model introduces a bond market, an economic governance token, Klima X, and a synthetic pricing model for carbon credits, and an automated asset manager that facilitates pricing and liquidity for tokenized carbon assets via Klima. The functionality of Klima 2.0 will live within the Klima protocol. So that is pretty dope right there. It says an automated asset manager is a collection of smart contracts that facilitates pricing and trading of assets. Klima is applying this technology to carbon credits. Is going to be pretty dope. Now, this is what the opportunity is right now. This part, what is the fair launch? The fair launch program is the transitioning and the restructuring of the legacy Klima token. Remember, the legacy Klima token is at 33 cents, but it's a rebasing token. It has different mechanisms built into it. But the legacy Klima holders can stake their legacy tokens to receive the new Klima 2.0 tokens plus Klima X. The new Klima is distributed pro rata upon launch, calculated as a share of the Klima staked. Klima X is distributed pro rata upon relaunch, calculated as a share of points occurred. Stake early and earn more points. Stake longer and earn more points. Unstake and an increasing share of the legacy Klima are burned. Points lost from unstaking are redistributed to the remaining stakeholders. Any legacy Klima not staked will be eligible for new Klima on relaunch. That was a lot, but that is pretty dope. So buy some of the Klima token, you can stake it, you'll get the new Klima token, or you'll earn some points. If you unstake early, those points get distributed to the people who are still staking. So a lot of people are going to be moving stuff around, and just staking is going to be a chance to get to get more points in order to get more of this Klima X token. It says, what if I don't stake? Unstaked Klima tokens will remain their 1-to-1 BCT backing, but will not receive any new allocation. So the new BCT token, which is the actual carbon token, the actual carbonized token, which is the actual carbon ton, is going to be you can still trade those for the actual carbon ton, but you won't receive any of the new tokens. It says, why wouldn't I stake? If you want to take advantage of the Klima price, if you think Klima is going to pump, that's the only reason. But you should probably stake, because if Klima pumps, and the other two will probably do good as well. This is not financial advice, but that's what I think. It says, what happens to legacy Klima after relaunch? Staked tokens are permanently burned and replaced with the new tokens. Unstaked tokens remain a 1-to-1 match with the carbon token. When exactly does the staking end. That's in Q3. And can I add more staking? Yes. Now, this is the point structure. The more weeks that you stake, the more of a bonus that you get. And they have burns and all that stuff and how that's calculated in there. So this is a very dope thing for me because I already like Klima. I already like this token. It has already performed pretty good in the past, but restructuring the problem that was with this token was it was based on the tokenomics were based on the tokenomics for another DeFi token that worked at the time, which at the time shot the token up to $3,000, but it wasn't a sustainable model. So them taking that token and now restructuring that token into a model that works for the protocol is actually excellent for the token overall in the long term. So I think this is very bullish for Klima. But you guys let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment box. Y'all like the channel, subscribe, share the videos, help me get this channel. We are on the road to 10K right now. Y'all think positive and positive things will happen. RIP to crypto roots, and remember, never finish a negative statement about currency. Until next time, peace.